because he said that she'd committed a delinquent act. Maybe it's because the act of running from a policeman, maybe if you don't even know you're being chased, is a delinquent act. So he can actually shoot you in the brain and with a cattle prod on wires and electrocute you. So the cop says he chased her, ordered her to stop, and then did what I had to do. The mother, Stacy Aiken, said her daughter underwent surgery Friday morning at University of New Mexico Hospital in Albuquerque. She's got about a 4.5-inch scar here, and a shaven skull, it's a shaved part of the skull, and the stitches right down it, plus the side of it, which meant they had to open it up to see if there's a depressed fracture as well. It says here, one of the darts entered her skull, said Aiken, interviewed by telephone. After a CAT scan, a hospital resident told her the dart was in her brain a little bit, but not much. So that means it's okay. It's just a little bit in your brain. She was in pediatric intensive care following the surgery. Aiken said she seemed okay, but she seems in a lot of pain. Her head is hurting her real bad. No kidding. Imagine getting all those thousands of volts right in your brain with a cattle prod on wires. It says here, police were trying to help Aiken. They're trying to, God help us if we need help from the cops, eh? I've read this sort of thing quite a few times recently, where the police say they were trying to help. They shot a guy who they thought was going to commit suicide, so they electrocuted him to death, I think. Police were trying to help Aiken because she and her daughter had been fighting, Aiken said. How many young girls are fighting with their mums? They all go through it. Aiken said, well, she could understand the use of a taser on an adult. It shouldn't be used on a child. Well, to be honest with you, a cattle prod shooting thousands of volts on people who are not charged with a criminal offence, I don't see it should be used on adults. This poor girl had epilepsy as well. I bet it's worse now. Back with more after this break.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
Hi, folks. I'm Alan Watt, and we're cutting through the Matrix. Reading an article about the cattle prods, the taser guns. That's all they are, cattle prods with wires. They've been using on cattle for a long, long time. Now they're using them on people. They changed the term, and the public are fooled. They don't see that it's still the same thing, where now the cattle that are getting electrocuted. That's what they do. They electrocute you, you see. And how a young girl who was epileptic had a fight with her mum, 14 years old, had a couple of darts fired by a cop on the run after her. And all she had was a fight with her mum. And one of them went into her brain, one of these darts, and 50,000 volts went into her brain. It's amazing she's still living. But I'll tell you, it must have killed a lot of cells off. It must have killed a lot of cells off. And the cop is justifying what he did. He says here that he said, and they're going to justify whatever they do. It doesn't matter what they're a psychopath. A psychopath will have to rationalize whatever they did. First of all, to suit their own ego, but cops will do it routinely, obviously, to save their skin and their job and all the rest of it. So they always rationalize what they do. And he said that she had an argument with her mum, going in front of police headquarters that her mum drove to. In front of the headquarters, her daughter just walked away from the car, right? So he got a call when he was out on another call, and he found her at a park, Molinas Park. Got the vehicle, called to her, and she ran in front of his patrol car across Monroe Street without looking for traffic. Did they taser everybody that doesn't look where they're going? Do they? It says both from a dead run when the taser was fired. Well, why was he firing this on the dead run to start with? Why? You see, they're into this hunting mode. Cops are into hunting. They hunt in packs generally, but it truly is a hunting thing to get their target. Hunt. And they get all excited, like on a hunt. And they even talk about how they did it, how they catch people, and it's just like catching the prey, you see. That's how a predator talks and how he acts. So he was so excited, he shot on the run. Who else he could have hit and done it to? Who knows? Right? And his excuse was too, because she was running, he didn't know where she'd go to because they were new in town. But what a feeble excuse. Said if you hadn't stopped her, the consequences might have been worse. Well, what could have been worse than having 50,000 volts right into your brain? Huh? Worse? But anyway, we're getting gradually trained to accept more and more and more of this kind of stuff as they turn this kind of weaponry loose on a modern police that have grown up with video games and they want to be hunters and wear black uniforms just like the military, special forces, and we're seeing the effects of it. And they're training the public now with more and more instances of this where nothing happens to the police, that this is the new normal. You obey police. It doesn't matter what it's about. You just obey.